What's up, doggos? It is finally Friday. Well, it is finally Friday. I would say if the days of the week had any meaning to me beyond, oh, I need to be streaming this day. I expect you've been good, doggos. Well, I've seen some of you were not, but I do not have much. What's it called? I was gonna say leniency, but it's not exactly what I meant. I don't have much tolerance for bad doggos. So if you're being bad, I will ban you directly. Just so you know. I don't care. I don't give a fuck. I'm not here to cuddle you. But good doggos, I will tolerate. Maybe you can even work your way towards my well, no, you'll never get to my like list, but being in my tolerable enough list is already a big achievement. So today I am going to instill into you a bit of knowledge, doggos. The goal is to have you leave a tiny bit less dumb today. You're going to learn something. Make sure you learn something. To file away some tidbit of information, something a bit worthwhile, you know? Something worthwhile. And not anything to do with stupid animated movies. So, last time, I did leave you with homework. Did you think of questions to ask about Madagascar? Or do I have to do everything again? Well, I am prepared to do everything again, of course, but I am grading you, doggos. And if you do good, I will give you treats. If you don't, well, it's not a hassle at all to start a fire. Well, bad doggos will get a bonk. Eating your homework is not acceptable. Eating your homework is not acceptable. I'm not even going to give you homeworks a lot, doggos. Like, really, I don't expect much from you. But when I do ask you something, I expect you to do it. I'm not even asking you something difficult, doggos. And plus, you could have just shut up. If you shut up, then I wouldn't know that you ate your homework and you wouldn't get bonked. Doggos, really. Really. I really need to teach you everything, don't I? Alright. Now, I believe my esteemed predecessor has already had several challenge streams about her beloved Madagascar. I say her beloved Madagascar because, well, technically I'm also Malagasy because I literally am. Well, we literally were the same person at base, but my entire existence is kind of a nebulous one. Aha! And so, yes, let's say, for all intent and purposes, I am also Malagasy. And so, I will be answering your questions from the POV of a very ordinary Malagasy person. So, no expert topics. Just plain old curiosity about what life might be from the point of view of a Malagasy. Just that. But I think that's probably good, right? A bit of relatability. Let's see. Oh, she did do quite a few things already. Oh! Almost 2 years ago. But this is on July the 26th. We are in June right now, so... but almost 2 years ago. Missing a month. Oh, by the way, June the 26th is Madagascar's Independence Day. And it turns out it is also the day of our monthly karaoke. So, I will be singing some Malagasy songs. Maybe not the full set, but at least a few. To commemorate the date. Yeah, I believe it. This would be the first time. I don't know. I don't know if this would be the first time on this channel we're doing a stream on that day. Oh, no. Last year, Nova played Uncharted 4 and arrived in Madagascar. Oh, well. Yeah, no, it's a good thing to commemorate the date with something like that. So, Nova talked growing up and living in Madagascar, okay? And then she reads the Malagasy song cover. Talked a bit more about Madagascar, another Malagasy song cover. A Q&A in 3 languages. And then the shorts, the Uncharted game. Okay. Well, there's quite a few things. A small video about what happened last year. Reacting to videos about Madagascar. Listening to Malagasy music. Teaching you some Malagasy words. Oh, okay. And expressions. How did that go, Dogos? Did you learn something from that? Did you retain any interesting words or expressions? Or did Nova's teachings just get consigned to oblivion? Do not consign those to oblivion. Although I guess if you do not have anyone to practice them with. Oh. Well, it's a good thing that Nova is no longer here, because she would probably be sad to learn that nothing was remembered from that day. And she spent almost 4 hours on that stream. All right. Well, I've noted a few questions as warm-up. Well, questions. A few topics as warm-up. The idea is, for today, I'm gonna cover, like, trying to answer some common questions or questions that could arise in one's mind when seeing the word Madagascar, or that I am from Madagascar. Nova has already covered the topic of she's a VTuber from Madagascar. Did you watch DreamWorks Madagascar movie? Therefore, we are no longer talking about that. And how do you call people from Madagascar? Well, I do have one more answer that is going a bit back towards that. But I think it's important to insist on it, maybe. Because that's the basics. That's the basics. And the distasteful jokes about a distasteful movie or references to that movie get consigned to oblivion too. If you're gonna make jokes, at least try to come up with something a bit original and not just reserving the same old stuff. If you're gonna make a joke about Madagascar, at least make it something that is relevant and worthwhile, and nothing that has to do with that movie or anything around that is worthwhile. If I see you or anyone else mention that again, it's directly a ban. I don't fucking care. I don't give a fuck. You have been warned, and if you still insist, well, I will happily let you get you fuck out. Alright. Now, let's start. You still have time to think of questions. I have a few I have already prepared. And I will have to try to order my thoughts well. Otherwise this is not going to go well. Brain, do not scatter. Do not fail me. Alright. First order of business. What should you think of when you see the word Madagascar? You should think of the 4th largest island in the world, right behind Greenland, New Guinea, and Borneo. Or the 2nd largest island country in the world, after Indonesia. Or just the 46th largest country overall. Just that. It's larger than most European countries, by the way. Madagascar is a mega diverse country. Around 90% of the plants and animals it houses are only found there. Baobabs, ravnal, lemurs, fossa, to only name but a few of the hundreds of known and less known species you can find there. It's also home to some of the most beautiful and unique landscapes in the world. And if all else fails, if you see the word Madagascar, you should think of Kuroshiro, the Malagasy Vtuber whose channel you stumbled upon and learned fascinating tidbits about Madagascar from. You should not think first of the lame brain-rotting animated movie that released over 20 years ago and should be consigned to oblivion. Mm, mm, mm. And honestly, just Google it. The first thing that will appear will be fascinating images and photos about the country. Just Google it. But I already gave you a few trivias. To be like, oh, I know this. See how nice I am. And I see more doggos. I will be banning more doggos, I think. That was the last one I will give a simple bonk to. But if I see more mentions of that godforsaken movie, it's the ban direct. I don't fucking care. Oh, but you've already been bonked, doggo. Say bye-bye. You can try to appeal, but I might not find it in me to give you leniency. You think I'm joking, huh? You will find that I do not joke. I will say it again. I don't need bad doggos. Now, what else can be said? What is Malagasy? Because you probably have heard me say that quite a lot. Simply put, it's the name of the people from Madagascar. And it's also the name of a language. It's Malgache in French, which French is our official second language, a leftover from our colony days. But Malagasy who uses the word Malgache, even when they are speaking French, usually find themselves lynched by the masses, metaphorically. So it's usually not worth the headache from a Malagasy point of view. Apparently, the word, there's an English word, Madagascan, who exists technically. I think it's more used for like scientific naming, but really I've never seen anyone use that word ever. And any English speaker that is even a tad bit aware of Madagascar will just use Malagasy anyway. Plus, it's shorter and it rolls off the tongue better. So, yep, Malagasy is both a name and the adjective from Madagascar. Did you take notes? Did that embed in your brains? I certainly expect it to. There is gonna be a mass extinction of doggos. I don't care. We need to make examples. The silent I is a surprise to English speakers. Yes. Because, in general, in Malagasy pronunciation, the last vowel in a syllable in a word. Yes, the last vowel of a syllable in a word is silent. For example, Malagasy is pronounced Malagasy and not Malagasy. Even Madagascar, which in Malagasy is written Madagascar, you do not make any emphasis on the last syllable. There are exceptions. Well, not exceptions. Not really. Can it be called an exception? Yeah. Some names, if they have a different origin, might have some emphasis on the last syllable. And in general, a verb in the imperative form, when you are giving an order, usually those also have an emphasis on the last syllable. Those are the cases where the last syllable is not silent, the last vowel is not silent. Otherwise, it's always practically silent. Another one that I've seen that might come up. What do people from Madagascar look like? Well, I mean, if you do not Google it and you are just asking. Now, before you fall into the ruinous trap laid at your feet by sheer dumbness, the one that makes people say, oh, it's an African country, so we have to be black, so Miyarzu from Tekken 8 can be a legit Malagasy because she doesn't have enough melanin. You know that one? I'll start by saying that Malagasy people are the result of a merry mixing of different races. Our island has been isolated from the continent for something like 100 million years. And then roughly in the 6th century, or possibly before that, Austronesian peoples, so presumably people from the current day Indonesia, settled in the highlands, meaning in the towards the center of the island. And then around the 9th century came the Bantu peoples from East Africa. They crossed the Mozambique Channel and they settled on the coasts. Therefore, all Malagasy people have both Asian and African genes. The percentage will just vary depending on what ethnic group they are. And then later on, there are all the people who came and contributed their own genes and cultures. So, we come with a large range of skin tones and facial traits. Malagasy are Malagasy, whether the looks lean a bit more Asian, African, or even something like Arabic or European. And by the way, if you're African American, chances are you might have some Malagasy ancestry. Because slave trades have brought some of our people as far as the American shores too. I've seen many African Americans recently who made DNA tests and discovered that they had some Asian, is it Asian, Southeast Asian genes? Well, yeah, that probably very likely means that you have some Malagasy ancestry. Another interesting one. Does Madagascar have some native people? And do they get along well with the current people? No. No, we don't have native people the same way. For example, there are Native Americans versus non-Native Americans. We had a people that is collectively considered the ancestors of all Malagasy. They were called the vsinger, which, depending on the region, were described quite differently. Some say that they were a small people, kind of like pygmy, but I've also heard some say that they were a very tall and fair-skinned people. And tales about the vsinger have gained a certain folkloric, almost mythical quality. But there are no longer any vsinger, just traces of their existence. If you go in some regions that have some touristic value to them, sometimes you will be told, well, not necessarily, but like there are some places in some regions that are told to be places where the vsinger were, and you have to be careful to not do certain things. Like you should not be pointing with your index finger, or you should not touch a certain body of water, stuff like that. In any case, the vsinger were basically the very first settlers on the island. The most prominent history of foreign invasion is, of course, the French colonization. And there are some immigrants from different countries that are living here. But Madagascar's population is still overwhelmingly Malagasy. And the Malagasy are its native people. There are no separations or need to protect some ethnic groups or anything. Everyone is Malagasy. What else? Now you need to start asking questions to those, if you have them. We talk about the general trivia, the people. Well, we could talk about the language, I guess. And maybe about my accent. Because that one could be a tad confusing. So, what is this accent? Some might have guessed, but there's a tiny bit of French accent here, which is only natural, I guess, because yes, French is my second language. J'ai fait toute ma scolarité en français. Les émissions à la télé, les films étrangers, ils étaient tous en français. I did all of my studies in French. Foreign movies, in some shows were in French on TV. Even news have a Malagasy and a French version. So yes, I'm guessing probably there is some traces of French in my accent. With that being said, French is not my native tongue. It's not my mother tongue. 我真想翻念了点 gas. 我真so are vam点 gas. Tena de miezaka ria. Manona tsara an'le teny anglisy arak'izay azo atao. Mino ava misy accent na teny gasy tafasitrika ao anatin'le izy ao. But that one you probably cannot really guess at unless you are a Malagasy speaker yourself. I've seen some Malagasy saying that yeah, they can hear the Malagasy accent. But it's not a stereotypical accent, I guess. I'm just trying to enunciate as clearly as I can. And this is the result you have. I do not really have that many people around me that are fluent in English and to whom I've spoken I've had full conversations in English with, so I cannot tell you if my accent is very typical or not. My guess is maybe not, but then again, maybe yes. English is not very widely spoken, at least not where I live. In more touristic hotspots, you will have guides that are more fluent in English. Very fluent in English. But I do not live in a touristic hotspot per se. So, I do not really have anyone to whom to compare my English accent with. Oh, by the way, I was saying in Malagasy earlier, this is how it sounds to speak when I speak Malagasy, and how I try to enunciate as clearly as I can. I am guessing that there's probably some traces of Malagasy accent in my English. A unique and very ear-catching accent? Well, it has definitely garnered some curiosity. At the very least. We use everything again. What else? Oh, yes. I've seen this question asked, but this is not the kind of question I can give an answer to in a couple of minutes. There's the what is it like to be living in Madagascar question, but really, how do you even begin to answer such a question? So I will need something a bit more focused. What area of living in what area of living in Madagascar? No, that's not the formulation I should be going with. What aspects there? What aspects of living in Madagascar would interest you to learn about more? What is something that every Malagasy person just knows or experiences growing up, but that someone from another country would never think to ask about? Ooh. That is a loaded one. Let me think. You just know it, but no one else would think of asking about it. Maybe stuff like... Well, I was talking about the Vazim earlier, which are, again, collectively considered the ancestors of all Malagasy. And like I said, is the tales about the Vazim have gained a certain folkloric and even mythical quality. I think one thing that is just would I say natural? I think that's not exactly the term. Ça va de soi. It's just, yeah, well, wait. Ça va de soi is the expression in French. It goes without saying. There are things that are called fad, which are basically which would translate into forbidden stuff that is forbidden. Here, if you are told don't do this is a fad, you do not question it, you just don't. Of course, there are some some that will attempt to still do it and suffer the consequences. But in general, if you are told there is a fad, well, you make sure to not do what is forbidden, what you have been warned about. I guess it will fall under the what's it called again? Superstition category, especially from an outside, from a foreigner's eyes. But it's the kind of thing that is very much ingrained in our culture and traditions. And most people will take care to not well, go against them, I guess. If only just to spare themselves the headache later. Yes, I think from a foreigner's point of view, it is something very, very much superstitious. And if someone had like a scientific mind, they would scoff at it. But it's very much still, yeah, like I said, it just goes without saying. There are some things that are tied to our traditions and culture, and there is no need to question it or reason against it. No, I am very much not a dragon lady. And I am mildly concerned about why you would think I'm a dragon lady. Maybe get your eyes checked or something. Do you have other questions? Well, on the topic of tradition, cultures, fad, and folklore, there is a fascinating subject. Let's say, some occult. How is this thing pronounced? Occult. Occult? Occult? Occult powers. You know, there is African voodoo, something like that. It's called Udgas. Gas is the short form for Malagasy, because we tend to shorten things. That's too. Malagasy is very long. We tend to just say gas. Udgas is a neat little thing. No. There is a phenomenon in which people use udgas, and they would well, to simplify the thing, they would get, I don't know if it's get possessed or turn into something at night. And basically, I believe you would translate it into becoming a witch, but it's not like the Western witch with the pointy hats and the broom. No. It's butt naked, oiled, and riding someone at night, kind of thing. So usually it's something like they use the udgas to, like, for example, I don't know, punish an adulterer husband, for example. And at night, well, they just they just become a nuisance. And there were cases of they are called pamsav, which would be translated into, well, someone who curses, I guess. Yeah, because mamsav is cursing, so someone who curses. And there are many tales of people who, like, for one reason or another, were out at night and suddenly would feel their hairs rise and feel an immense sense of dread and feel the need to flee. And as they flee, they would hear someone is running after them. And that someone is, for some reason, inhumanly strong. And if they get caught, well, that someone will ride them like a horse or something like that during the whole night. And, well, if they are told to not say anything, they cannot elaborate on the experience. Or otherwise, they will just be very sore the next morning or something like that. There are also tales of how how do you call it? Like in the neighborhood, they would make some sort of little militia and catch those pamsav. It's usually women. It's usually women. And that is a... can I say common enough occurrence? No, not that common anymore, but still exists, especially in more rural regions, rural zones. No, not sleep paralysis, demon. Well, although it could be associated to it. Yeah, because like it also can happen to someone that is safely in their bed. You would suddenly wake up and feel a sense of dread. It is said that the pamsav is probably passing by when you feel that. Is it true that Malagasy people are closer to Indonesians and Malaysians than Africans? No, not strictly speaking. As I said before, all Malagasy people have both African and Asian genes. Well, more Southeast Asian genes. The first settlers were Austronesians, and then the Africans came later. So we all have African and Southeast Asian genes, just in different proportions depending on our ethnic group. There are 18 ethnic groups officially in Madagascar, and the groups with more representatives, the groups with more people in them happen to be the ones that have more Southeast Asian genes to them. So that's why. That's why someone could say that. But we are a mixed race. And we come with we come in a large range of skin tones, facial traits, and shapes. Generally speaking, Malagasy people are on the shorter side. In the African continent, if you look at all the people in the African continent, we are on the shorter side. Although I think the later generations are growing taller. Again, kids these days are rather tall. When I say on the short side, a man of say 165 centimeters is like very average. I don't know how is that for the Americans in chat. Centimeter to what is it, feet? No. 5 foot, yeah, like say let's say a man a 5'5" man is very average, or at least used to be very average. Like I said, it looks to me like the newer generations are growing taller. What is that? Have I ever eaten tasty crusty in extra pizza? I have no idea what that is. Extra pizza is a fast food chain that sells pizza here in Madagascar, as the name would imply, but I have no idea what Tasty Krusty is. No, I am not untiming anyone. If they got a timeout, then they deserved it. The rules are clear. And if you are a bad doggo, well, get the bonk. Or worse. I do not show mercy. Do you have other questions, doggos? The stories of people getting, I guess you could say it's a haunting by the Pamsa. Are very entertaining until the time it happens to you, of course. But yeah. Well, I guess to continue on the theme of folklore, there's the game that has been developed by a team of Malagasy developers called Kalanur. A Kalanur is also a folkloric creature. It's a small, yeah, it's a small humanoid with very long hair. I don't believe it's considered something kind or what though, but yeah. That would be one of the folkloric creatures that exist here. Well, that exists. One of the folkloric creatures you can hear about here in Madagascar. In terms of holiday or celebrations, what feels the most Malagasy to you? Well, the most Malagasy would definitely be, of course, the Independence Day, but rather I would say it's more so the eve of the Independence Day. On the eve of the Independence Day, which is, the Independence Day is the 26th of June, and therefore the eve is the 25th of June. And on the 25th, kids will come out during the evening with little lanterns and just do kind of make processions in the in streets and stuff like that, and it's a nice little thing to watch. And they, well, in relatively recent years, they also used to fire fireworks on that night. And on the 25th, I don't know if kids these days still do that or not anymore. But back in my day, well, technically back in the day when Nova and I were still the same person, but whatever. Back in my day, there's this little tradition called Tskun or Tskunkun, where we cook in tiny little cookwares tiny little aluminum cookwares with tiny little what's it called? What's it called? Wait, hindi na narafata namtin English. I don't even know what's it called in French. It does not even come to my mind what's it called in French. Does that exist? Fataper? Hey, you don't cook on a gas stove, but you make you build a fire with coal. What's it called? And there's a little recipient in which you do that. What's it fucking called? A stove? A coal stove? You make fire with coal, and you cook in tiny little cookwares. Actually, let me try to bring out some images if I can. Let me try to bring up some images of what I mean. We were talking about holiday. This is what I consider the most Malagasy holiday, especially if I consider childhood memories. Because I on the 26th, traditionally it's a military parade, and I've never cared about that. Like, I've never cared about that. But yeah, what comes before that is what always felt the most like a Malagasy holiday to me. Fatap, Tkun. Do kids these days still do that? I don't know. Tkun na Malagasy. I don't know. But yeah, you make you cook in small little, you cook well, let me bring this up. And let me move myself a bit here. This is what it looks like. Wait, I'm gonna readjust it, or maybe should I be on this side of your whatever. Does it even matter? Let's just it's fine. Wait, it's too small. Images. See these tiny little cookwares. Oh no, now I'm not. Open image. Here. Oh, why is it so small? But yeah, look, see those little cookwares. Here, the little. It's so small. The images are too freaking small. Maybe this one. New tab. Oh dear lord, why? Well, something like this. See, those are little kids cooking with small little cookwares, and it was a ton of fun. Like we would cook a tiny bit of rice with a tiny bit of whatever. If you were able to afford a tiny bit of meat, and with some vegetables and stuff, like very typical Malagasy food. And it was banger. It was banger. This is what to me felt the most like pure Malagasy holidays. I don't have any holidays now. Holidays just do not hold any meaning to me anymore now. So that's why I'm considering these childhood memories as the most Malagasy holidays. Are there any traditions in Madagascar that are very important to the people? Yes, of course. I am going to say at least one of the most important traditions is actually circumcision of boys. Depending on the region, it is called slightly different. But it is a rite of passage. Well, it was and still is more or less a rite of passage for little boys into manhood, basically. And there's a whole big there was a whole big process behind the whole thing. Like, this person does what, on what, to begin with, deciding the day, and then which person does what in relation to the little boy that is getting circumcised. And it's a huge celebration. Aside from that, there's also the Famadian. Malagasy people bury their dead in mausoleums, is what it's called, I believe, mausoleums. We bury our dead in mausoleums, and like it's a family, family mausoleums. And Malagasy people traditionally have a big respect for ancestors. Even the word for country, is it country? C'est la patrie plutôt. Ouais, littéralement c'est la patrie, Tanjazan. But it's not country would be more féminin. But what is Tanjazan in English? Patrie in English, c'est quoi? It's still country. Well, homeland. Literally, it's called. Literally, it translates to the land of ancestors. Ancestors' land, Tanjazan. We have a big, traditionally have a big respect for our ancestors, and even have some traditions that would have you ask for the ancestors' blessing and stuff like that. And there's the Famadian. Literally, there's a selected date on which you go and change the what is it? The mortuary. The mortuary fabric. Le linceul. Je pense que c'est un linceul, c'est ça? Linceul. Linceul. The shroud. The shroud that covers the body. And it's a huge celebration too for the family. Those are the traditions I believe that are considered the most Malagasy. And of course there's marriage, the traditional marriage, which is also a big thing, a big deal. And all those things are still done today, just maybe in a more modernized manner. but it has not. Those traditions have not left us. Those are the few that I think are the most prominent and always are attached to the biggest celebrations in a family. Yarzu from Tekken 8, yes, of course. My esteemed predecessor, even, I believe, titled a stream. They are gonna release Tekken Malagasy character in Tekken 8, even if the stream had absolutely nothing to do with it. Yes, of course. Yes, of course. Ah, yeah, no, we do not leave the coffin. Wait. Let me bring, let me try to find, and it depends, we just enshroud our dead. And that shroud is a costly luxury fabric. And we bury them. Well, it depends. Actually, in the Highlands, we have mausoleum-like buildings in which we are going to bury our dead. But in other regions, it doesn't look like that necessarily. But yeah, this, like these. Depending on the region. It looks slightly different, but it looks like this. Some have some. It's also a point of pride for the family. Like, oh, we have a big. It's called fasan. It's called fasan in Malagasy. We have. They have different architectural styles depending on the regions. But yeah, it looks like this. Can you see it? Is it big enough that you can see it? Stuff like this. This one, for example, is styled after the roof. The Manzakamiadan roof, which by the way Nova built in Minecraft like a month and a half ago, I believe, something like that. They can look like this. Sometimes they look for example, I know in the south there are some that are just like just rocks. I say just rocks, but it has a whole significance around it and a whole tradition around building it. It's not just anything. But yeah, it looks like these. It can look like these. We do not like we do not again, it depends on the region, but for example in the region where I live, it is a point of shame and sadness if your loved one cannot be buried in the fasan. It's called anirt. You like sometimes depending. For example, okay, so you have to understand. These corpses are buried in there. corpses will decompose, and it takes a while before you are authorized to open the façade again, because it could be dangerous for people to have it open while the corpses have not are still in a very toxic state, let's say. And so sometimes in a family it can happen that someone died, they got buried, and not long after someone else dies, but you cannot open it yet, and therefore they are put in a small little hole next to it while waiting. That is a case of shame and sadness. If your loved one's body, your loved one's corpse cannot be interred in the familial mausoleum. And that can happen, like for example, for a stillborn. Usually they are not put into the façade. They are just they're just buried outside. Stuff like that. They are meant for a whole family. There are some façades that are meant for very extended genealogical trees. And they are, for example, these are the type that are seen here in the Highlands. These things cost a ton to make, because you make them out of rock. Rock, is it called rock? Yeah. That shit is expensive. So yeah, there are sometimes cases of dispute, because one branch of a family might not have participated into building or the maintenance of the façade. And so sometimes when someone dies and you have to bury them in, there might be disputes that arise, and some words exchanged like, no, but you did not participate, you should not be able to bury your dead here. Yeah, it becomes messy. It can sometimes become messy. There are beds in there. Yeah. They're kind of like little beds. I don't see any photos of how it looks inside, but yeah. I believe there was I don't remember which movie it was, but what because the most practiced religion in Madagascar is Christianity? Was it called in English? And well, there were sometimes some movies about Jesus that aired on TV, and I remember there were those movies had during the scene when it's like he got buried and then he rises from the dead, the tomb in which he was buried, they kind of look like Malagasy façade. Imagine if you were alive and got trapped in there. Yeah, well, you won't be alive long. Although there might be some airflow and depending on the architecture, there might even be some light. But yeah, if you were buried with a relative and they were decomposing, well, like I said, you're probably not gonna stay alive long. In any case, usually before people are buried in there, the corpse, before the corpse is buried, usually it's injected with formal. So yeah, even if they were not quite dead yet, before, after that, they definitely are. Yeah, sometimes there are many of them next to each other. Sometimes it's like a big cemetery where there are many of those, and sometimes it's just a single one somewhere. It depends. Do I know any famous singer in Madagascar? I mean, I literally live here. I literally live here. What is that question? Although, I will admit, I don't necessarily know the ones the young ones are listening to nowadays. I know the ones that I used to listen to, and if they are not recommended to me or stuff, I don't really. It's the same for like, even foreign singers or groups. I don't go out of my way to try to find new music to listen to. It comes to me, and so if it does not come to me, I don't know of it. Oh, weddings. Malagasy traditional Malagasy weddings. Nowadays, they are in the whole process of marrying someone. Nowadays, there's the traditional marriage, there's the civil marriage, and there's the religious marriage. Usually, people will go through the three, but as far as traditional Malagasy marriage goes, there are two steps. The first one is called the vsinger, which would be kind of the equivalent of engagement. The vsinger is a stage where both families, both families. When I say families, it's generally the two young people that are going to marry. It's usually considered like young people, even if maybe nowadays we are not necessarily very young anymore. But yeah, it's usually it was usually young people because Malagasy people traditionally married rather young. The two young people and their parents, they discuss the project of marrying and the preparations for the actual traditional marriage. That one, the second stage, is called the vudunji, which is literally translated to the butt of a sheep. the hind quarter of a sheep. It's called so because traditionally that was what the young man used to offer the parents of his intended. It is a sign of profound respect. And so yeah, but later on it got very quickly replaced by money. So it is a family event where a ton of money is gonna be given to the family of the young woman, basically. Like in, I believe in Western, old Western marriages, it's there's something called a dowry, I think, if I'm not mistaken, where it's the lady's family. It's kind of a down payment, if paid by the bride's family, something like that. But no, here it's not that at all. It's the young man's family that is going to pay a ton of money to the young woman's family. Women are kind of put on a pedestal, but not quite here in Madagascar. It's a funny thing. Like, women are definitely seen with a lot of respect and gallantry, I guess. There's a saying, there's an expression that calls women fanakamalemi. Fragile ornament. But it's more so meant in a gallant way, as in they are precious because they are the ones who are going to carry the children, the future. So yeah, they are put on a pedestal, but at the same time a lot of expectations are put on them. And yeah, it's I would say it's kind of an awkward position to be in. But back to the traditional marriage. Basically, it's a familial event, like where all the family is invited, or at least all the relevant members of a family are invited. And there's a lot of speeches, traditional speeches called kabar, that goes into it. You will find that the kabar is a very important part of Malagasy culture and traditions. There is a kabar for every occasion, and it is an art, a flowery speech, and it is not the kind of thing that like. It is a very important part of the events, especially something like the traditional marriage. And to put it simply, there's gonna be a ton of speeches. The essence of it is the young man's family will come to the young woman's family and ask for her hand, ask for her. And they will be citing, this is our genealogical tree, we come from this, we do this, blah 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 blah, and we earnestly want to have this little lady join us, blah 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 blah. And usually the young woman's family will play a bit hard to get, you see. Play a bit hard to get, like, yeah, but she's very precious to us, so and money. I am bastardizing the whole thing, but like basically that's how it goes. Money. This is the money for her brother, because we are taking her away, for her parents because we are taking her away, for blah 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 blah. Everyone in the family gets something or some other, and it ends with food. A big feast, basically. Like I said, I am really bastardizing the whole thing. It's a beautiful ceremony, basically. But yeah. Nowadays, the traditional marriage is kind of like is taking kind of the place of an engagement, because officially there is nothing yet, but as far as the family is concerned, a promise has been made, and it's on. It's on. But nowadays, when you get married, you have the civil marriage and the religious marriage on top. And those are big deals too, especially the religious marriage after the traditional marriage. It's the occasion to for a huge event, huge feast, huge party, and you will be judged from the success of that party, basically. I see we have funny doggos, but no, not funny doggos. Again. I will say it again because it seems you came late. When you see the word Madagascar, you should not think of the lame brain-rotting animated movie that released 20 years ago. Please. Google it. Come up with something that is relevant and at least a tiny bit more original. There are no penguins here. A tradition in a southern area, in the southern region, where the guy has to have stolen a zebu in order to ask for a woman's hand. Yeah. There are some variations depending on the region. In the south, even more so than any other region, the zebu is the mark of someone's fortune. And they have kind of a little there are I don't know exactly where it originated, but yeah, I remember there's some kind of traditions like that too. Yeah. Oh, the dowry is supposed to go to the bride in case of divorce. Ah, well, like I said, like women are valued, but not quite. As in, traditionally, in a Malagasy marriage, the distribution of what's it called? God damn it! I know the word. Of the assets, the distribution of the assets. Traditionally it was the what's it called again? Tuktel. Basically, the woman gets a third. The woman gets a third of the assets, and the man keeps the 2/3. So yeah. Women are valued and precious, but still, girl. Later on, it can be said in the marriage deed how the spouses want to separate the assets, and usually later on it became something like 50-50. But yeah, traditionally it used to be a third to the woman. Who pays for the wedding ceremony and festivities? Well, nowadays, the parents still help quite a bit, but nowadays, the young people that want to marry try to pay for everything themselves. In exchange, during the festivities, they receive what is called tsujan, a blessing, basically, the blessing, which is usually literally when we say we would like the blessing in the Malagasy tradition, it means give us money. Don't give us material presents, give us money. So usually they will receive some blessing, some money from the attending guests. So it does pay itself back a bit. The festivities do pay themselves back a bit. And I've heard that it can happen, depending on the families, that parents that have participated in preparing the festivities would ask for parts of the blessing that was meant for the young couple. But with reasoning that nobody we helped, so so yeah, it's sad, but money does have this magical effect of sowing discord in families that could have been rather harmonious. But yeah. Madagascar is considered a poor country by the UN and over stuff like that. So yeah, no, but money is an issue everywhere. It's not just in Madagascar. So yeah. Although Malagasy families are rather tightly knit. In general, very tightly knit. Children are considered very precious, riches, and it is not at all uncommon for them to stay with their parents even well into adulthood until the time they get married. It is not anything that is unusual. It's even very natural. And children and parents will just miss each other otherwise, so yeah. But of course, it's not a general rule. There are some families in which children would rather get out of the familiar house very fast. But yeah, in general, Malagasy families are rather tightly knit. Parents tend to have many children too. I don't know anymore if nowadays the number has got back up. But like, I'd say if a generation before there were at least 4 kids in a family. And then it became something like just 2. And maybe nowadays they went back to having more children. I don't know. But yeah. We have a relatively high birth rate, despite a relatively high what's it called? Infantile death rate too. Like our population is steadily increasing, nonetheless, despite the fact that we are losing many babies to malnourishment or for being underfed, many diseases. Despite all of that, we have a high birth rate, and so our population is still steadily increasing. Infant mortality. Thank you. Infant mortality. it is especially in families like because there are families in which there are marriages with Europeans, for example, and it is very much felt the difference, the cultural differences. Because Malagasy families, Malagasy parents tend to, maybe from a Westerner's point of view, maybe, tend to be too, what do you call it? Too fawning too much over their children, maybe. I don't know how to describe it, but I know of families that have a European side or a Westerner side in any case, and it's a bit it's a bit of a contentious point. How to raise the children, because the Malagasy way would be you keep your children always close, they sleep with you, they don't have you don't put them in a separate room until they are way older, you don't let them just cry themselves to sleep, stuff like that, and it can be a point of contention. But I imagine that is something that is bound to happen in any family with very different cultural backgrounds, in any case. What are the coolest birds to watch? We have many species of birds that are all endemic to Madagascar. Wait, birds? I don't know if the birds are the because like many of the species here, 90% of the species, animals or plants, are endemic to Madagascar. So they are only found here. And like, of course, there are the famous lemurs. There are like 100 species of everything. Like the lemurs, the orchids, palm trees. But I don't know if that applies to birds too. I know that reptilians, tiny reptilians especially, chameleons, hundreds of species of chameleons found here. Batracians? How is it called in English? Les batraciens. Batraciens en anglais. Batracians? Amphibians! Putain de merde, les amphibians. Amphibians too. And a ton of little invertebrate creatures like snails, butterflies, spiders, and stuff. Birds. The biggest one would be the ankwai, which is, I believe, called would be. It's the Madagascar eagle, I believe. Like it's an eagle, but literally, it's like the American eagle, but it is endemic to Madagascar, and it's a huge bird. Wait, let me try to find. Let me try to bring it up. Ankwai. It's Madagascar fish eagle. There it is. It's called Madagascar fish eagle. And sadly, as with many species here in Madagascar, it's an endangered species. Because of course it is. Here. See, it's literally an eagle. But it's a huge bird. I've personally had the opportunity to see ones. They were perching in trees, and they were huge. It's in Malagasy. Nice. Well, it detected that I... Okay. Let's try to put it in... Oh, God damn it. Wait. Where's the English? Is there no... Where's the English page? Is it because I typed Ankwai and that's why it goes there? Okay, so that give me the Madagascar fish eagle then. Why are you? Wikipedia. Ah, there it is. Madagascar fish eagle. I want to see what the size of it. Wingspan. Okay, so medium-sized sea eagle, 60 to 66 centimeters, which is 23.5 to 26 inches long, with a wingspan of 165 to 180 centimeters, which is basically the size of an adult man here. 65 to 71 inches. The body and wings are dark brown. Why can we not? Can we? Ah, there it is. There it is. Well, the photo does not really give us an idea of the size, the scale. But yeah, like I said, the wingspan is like an adult man here. A big adult man. Yeah, an adult man. An adult man. This is the biggest bird, the biggest endemic bird here. Oh, if you are curious about animals found here in Madagascar, like I see, like yeah, something like 90% are endemic here. The biggest ones, though, the biggest endemic animals, well, as for birds, it would be the Ankwai, the Madagascar fish eagle. As for mammals, it is the fusa. The fusa. I believe it's written like this in English. In Malagasy, it's a single S, but in English, apparently, it's two S's. It's a cat-like, a feline-like. It looks like a feline, but apparently it's not a feline. It's closer to what's the name of a mongoose or something like that, I think, if I'm not mistaken, or something. Listen, I'm not an expert. I'm just I'm just an average ass Malagasy, okay? But here, it looks cat-like. It looks feline-like, but it's not. And it is a lemur predator. But this is the biggest mammal, the biggest endemic mammal here in Madagascar. The biggest animals you could find here are the zebu and crocodiles. Nile crocodiles. You will not find Nile crocodiles anywhere. Like it's not a common encounter, but there are some. There is a crocodile farm, and there is a city called Marvwai, which literally means many crocodiles. And therefore, I assume you may find some crocodiles there. But beyond that, I have never, beyond seeing a crocodile in a zoo, I've never encountered a crocodile. But yeah. But those are not endemic to Madagascar. The endemic ones, the biggest endemic ones are the foos, that Madagascar fish eagle, as far as birds go. The lemurs, there are some big ones and some small ones. The majority of the animals found here in Madagascar are rather small. Like it's people. I guess the island fosters smaller statures. And I believe the scientists have still, like, until very recently, discovered some new species. So yeah, since it's on the micro, maybe not necessarily micro, but very small scale, I would say that's not so surprising. And the thing is, for example, the people in a certain region are aware of the existence of the animal, but it's just a common occurrence to them, so it does not they will not have a reflex of I don't know, categorizing it or anything. It has to be some scientists that come from somewhere, that like a foreign or a Malagasy scientist that comes and tries to study the region to find out, oh wait, this is a new unregistered animal, and then it's like, oh okay, a new species have been discovered. Whereas the natives of the region are just like, oh, so the rest of the world was not aware of the existence of these. Okay, I see. As you said, we are the island has been isolated for a very long time, something like 100 million years apparently, since the separation from the continent, and we are very much insular. Yeah, like whatever happens outside, in the outside world, all right, does not concern us. It's hard enough to make a living here, so does not concern us. So there are cases like that. English is well, English is a far removed language from my native tongue, so it's always a bit of a funny thing. The funny part is, French is my second language. Literally, it's the second official language of Madagascar, and English does have many words taken from French, but the extra complication is they look like the same word. They do not mean the same thing. They mean different things, and it adds to the whole confusion. An experience about a lemur who gets what? Who? What? A lemur that will come perch on my shoulders if I hold a banana. Well, to begin with, let's make this clear. You are not if you come to visit Madagascar, you are not going to find lemurs just anywhere. They are protected animals. You will only find them in zoos or national reserves. Réserve naturelle. No, wait. What is the word for that? In protected areas. And yes, in some protected areas where you are allowed to, well, you could be given bananas to feed the lemurs. They will, if they are used to human presence already, sometimes they will come to perch on one's shoulders to eat the banana. That can happen, yes. On the topic of animals, despite not being endemic to Madagascar, zebus are very central to our traditions and ways of life. I said this before, and it was mentioned before on the topic of the traditional marriage. Zebus are one symbol of someone's rich, someone's fortune. Yeah, let me bring up the zebu photo before you ask what a zebu is. Well, it's basically here. It's basically a bull. It's a species of bull. I don't know where it comes from. Probably something like what in India or something like that, maybe. But yeah, zebus. We have only zebus here, and the zebu is an animal that we find use in at any stage. When it's alive, it's used to move carts around. English. It's used to what's the verb for this? Mtarka saret. That's how to say in Malagasy. Mtarka saret. Mtarka saret. The zebu is called umbi. Saret is the cart. Mtark means it drags around the cart. Whatever. Well, everything in a zebu is gonna be used. Like even their waste is gonna be used to make compost. No, not compost. It's not compost. Our zebus don't really live here. Look like that. It's to the horn. Oh dear Lord. New tab. There. This is how they look like. Zebus that are dragging around the cart. I don't know. Pulling. Oh, thank you. Oh dear Lord. Pulling the carts. Pulling carts. The zebus are pulling the carts. So while alive, they are used to pull carts, basically, which is a very central activity. They help to raise fields, carry merchandise and stuff. And dead, they also even their waste is used to make de l'engrais. C'est de l'engrais. Pas vraiment. C'est pas techniquement du composting. Engrais. Fertilizer. It's used to make fertilizer. Their horns will be burned to make what is called ramen, which is some kind of medicine used for I think stuff like stuff that is tied to like articulations or bone diseases. I don't know. Their meat is a prized meat, of course. Everything serves. Everything. The zebus are very central to our culture and traditions. If you're gonna make a feast, there in your bed, there's gonna be zebu meat. What do you feel if a lemur licks your fingers? I don't know. I have not experienced that firsthand. I could not tell you, but I mean, the same as when an animal licks your fingers, I guess. I don't know what to tell you. Is there a pet mindset among the Malagasy people, and if so, what kind of pets are being kept? Oh, we have the very conventional dogs and cats. Those are the most common pets you will find, dogs and cats. Dogs, you will find dogs anywhere, really. They are usually mutts, like mixed races. There are some races of dogs here, like the coton de Tuléar. There are many, like even huskies. There are even Siberian huskies, golden retrievers. What's the name of rottweilers? German shepherds. Like there are many who have dogs of certain races, but most dogs are mutts, mixed races. They are even called alikakas, Malagasy dogs, because those are the most commonly seen. There are dogs everywhere. Some are the some have owners and some not. Some are just like commonly kept dogs. On the more exotic pets, some people might have parrots. No, not technically parrots, but some kind of c'est des petites perruches. Kinda like parrots, but I don't know exactly what the species is. Birds are of that kind of family. And the other more common exotic pet would probably be the turtles. I believe the scientific name is something like radiata. Something over. Wait. Radiata. Where did this image go? Wait. So radiata. Turtle. I don't know. There. They look like this. Those are the most on the exotic pets. The ones like these can be found in some households. Some households. There are cases of these turtles being illicitly exported. They are very, yeah. Of course there are. But yeah, you could, certain families could have had those turtles. But that's like more of an old thing. You are not supposed to have them as pets anymore. Like they would be more commonly found in protected areas or somewhere like kind of a zoo, stuff like that. Canary birds? No. I'm not sure. Some birds, but they are called blouk in Malagasy. That's why I said kind of like parrots, but not canary. Well, there might be other species, but those are the more exotic ones. There are no other animals that comes to mind that people are keeping as pets, really. There might be others, like, but that would be something like a very isolated thing. But those are the most common, or less common. Those are the cases that I know of. There are no random guys with a satanic lizard. No, not that I know of. There are chameleons that you could find randomly in your garden or stuff like that, but I don't think that people particularly keep them. Aside from that, you have birds that you keep in a farm, like chicken, of course, geese, ducks, what's the name of this thing? Les dindons. Le dindon. Dindon. Dindon en anglais. Turkeys. Stuff like that, like but in a farm, as in you are keeping them to eat them later. Turkey, yes, turkey. Birds such as those are like, if you are commonly eaten during feasted upon during Independence Day, usually. Zebu meat is usually for like familial events, but eating those birds are more for holidays, Independence Day, or during Christmas or stuff like that, or the New Year. It's common. It's more common to eat those birds, if you can afford them, of course. Rabbits. Ah, yeah, there are some people that keep rabbits. Yeah. But you will also find they are eaten, yeah. I guess the most exotic meat I've seen that you can eat here are like crocodile meat, crocodile meat, and ostrich meat. I remember there was a time I went to a fair and was able to eat ostrich meat for some reason. There were ostrich. But yeah, that's not something that you will find commonly. Of course, we also have a lot of seafood. Oh, shoot. What is this? Where are we dropping frames? Okay. We also have a lot of seafoods, fishes, both sea fishes and sweet water fishes. All sorts of crustaceans, shrimps, crabs, langoust. What are langoust called in English? Langoust. Lobster. Ah, a type of lobster. Crayfishes. We also have, well, these are more, because, as you might have remembered, Madagascar is the 4th largest island in the world, so from the highlands to the coast, it's usually something like the closest beach to Antananarivo, the capital, I believe, would be Fatmanj, which is something like 200 kilometers away. So yeah, it's a bit of a long road to the sea, to the beach. And so yeah, it's an island, and we do have seafoods even in the towards the center, but there are some seafoods that you will really get to eat only when you go on the coast. Stuff like sea cucumbers. Can we call those seafoods? And les oursins. C'est quoi les oursins? Sea urchins. And other kinds of huîtres. C'est quoi les huîtres? Oysters. Different kinds of oysters. Different species of oysters. I don't know if it would be species or what, but yeah, different kinds of oysters. Ostrich eggs are a delicacy or something in some places. I don't know. I've had ostrich meat a long time ago. I don't even remember exactly why, but I remember it was a fair. There were horses. Yeah, there are horses here, but they are more of an attraction than common beasts of burden. The zebu are the common beasts of burden. But eggs, ostrich eggs, no. There are no ostriches here. Like, they're not endemic here. You can probably see. Maybe in a zoo there are some. Which, yeah, by the way, I will be going to the zoo. I have a vlog about going to the zoo I have to deliver. That will come in time. And so I will be able to tell you if in the zoo I was in there was an ostrich. But yeah. Crocus tasty. I believe I've had crocodile meat a while ago. I believe, but I don't remember. Meat is meat. Sainte Marie, yes, I've had the opportunity to go to Sainte Marie. It is a lovely place. It is a lovely place. A lot of places here in Madagascar are have very scenic landscapes. Even if you do not go very far from the capital, you will have somewhere that is really pretty to go to. So yeah, the only downside really is sadly we do not have many aerial companies that have direct flights to Madagascar, so the price of the ticket is rather scandalous. But if you come from a a richer country, you will find that life here is very cheap. That is why many Europeans are like saving up where they work and spend their vacations here or their retirement. That's not an uncommon thing. Because comparatively to their currency, life here is, especially with their currency, life here is very cheap. I will be going to the zoo and I will be doing a hiking vlog too down the line. So yeah, there's that to look forward to. It's just that the time to prepare all that, that's the problem. And then once I do get to do it, I will have to take the time to edit the video. So yeah, but that will come, that will come. Kuroshiro Nova always keeps their word until they can't. Do you have other questions, Doggos? Oh, we've already spent 2 hours here. Nice. I believe I have given you many pearls of wisdom. They will take a bit of time, yes. If only just scheduling them. Even just that is a bit, yeah. And then there's the whole logistics and stuff. Ah! Alcoholic drinks. Well, as far as alcoholic drinks go, there are like two categories for Malagasy people to enjoy. First, in no particular order. I believe probably it. If nothing else, it has a rather important place in our culture and our identity. Beer. There's this lager beer, Pilsner, yeah. Called THB, Three Horses beer, which is the #1 beer here in Madagascar. Everyone knows about it, and yeah, it's when people say they're gonna drink a beer, they say they drink THB. It's a it's a lager, so it's a very classic. It's a very classic, refreshing beer, I guess would be the term. I believe. As far as the profile goes, the taste profile goes, it's a bit on the sweet side, or maybe on the bland side, depending on who you ask. If you're someone who is an amateur of strong beers like stouts or stuff like that, yeah, you will find it bland, definitely. But the Malagasy palate is very much used to it. It's the standard. And yeah, there's the THB, the beer. There are other beers, all produced by the same company, by the way. But the THB is the absolute #1 beer. And on the other side, there are the hard liquors. Usually it would be rum. And for those who can afford it, whiskey. I'm not sure what whiskey people like more on the cheap side, not really whiskey, I think, technically speaking. Or it's called whiskey, I don't know, but it's distilled alcohol. It's distilled alcohol. Those are more I believe some are produced locally, but it's something more like watered down hard alcohol, basically. But there is one. It's not one It's one product. No, it's not one product. Artisanally made distilled alcohol, which is called tokagasi. Basically, yeah, it's distilled alcohol made with whatever. Like any alcohol made with some kind of cereal. Not whatever. It's made with sugar cane, basically, I think. Because sugar cane is what's most common here. It's made with sugar cane. Tokagas basically means, well, Malagasy alcohol. And it's, well, depending on the region and who makes it, it's a hazardous thing to drink. As in, because it's artisanally made and some with more or less disregard for one's health. So sometimes it is a lethal consumption. I believe there was some recent news that they were going to like legalize the production and actually put down some clear legal frame as to how to produce it. But yeah, whatever. But yeah, that's the artisanally, locally produced distilled alcohol. Yeah, it's better to regulate the stuff, but, well. I am not going to elaborate much on political affairs because it's just one way to feel even more miserable. But yeah, just I feel like I should still mention it just to give a general context. But Madagascar has gone through a very recent political upheaval. Well, people's uprising, I believe, is what it's called, something like that. That ended in some kind of military takeover, coup kind of thing. Yeah, well, the gist of it is very recently we were able to chase away the absolute waste of air our former quote-unquote president was. And some military guy took over. Well, everyone was happy because we chased away the useless piece of shit. But things have not gone well since then. Of course. To the surprise of nobody. It's not like things got much better. Because the people in power right now are just doing the same thing that the ones that we chased away did. So yeah, all of the same. So yeah. They are putting down some new regulations, some new laws, or trying to put down some new regulations and new laws that are like... So yeah, as usual, nobody is happy. At least we have electricity and water more often than we used to, but the bar was in hell, so that's not a very hard bar to clear, definitely. So yeah, that is all I am going to say about it. It's I believe many other countries in the world People in other countries in the world will say the same thing. Yeah, sometimes it's hell living here. But then again, when you learn of what happens in other places, you're like, maybe thankful about some things not actually be a thing in your country. You learn to yeah, you learn to be grateful somehow. Sadly. Yeah, any country, really. Any country. But, if nothing else, it was a nice thing to see Malagasy people expressing their malcontent for once. Because Malagasy people are very patient people. Too patient for their own good, really. And also, understandably, in our history, we have gone through many bloody uprisings that never led to a better reality afterwards. So, yeah. But, well, we will see. We will simply see. I am just a random ass citizen. I do not have any power anywhere. So, really, whatever. Whatever. I will do what is in my power, which is instilling onto you, fine citizens of other countries, some knowledge about Madagascar. So that you will not come to associate the word to anything not worthy anymore. But you will have some fun little trivia to mind when you think of Madagascar. Something that actually comes from someone that lives there. I think that is a worthwhile enough accomplishment. The thing is, recently, I feel like what the heck is a competent government is not only a thing in third world countries. I'm just a nobody observing from afar, but I feel like the so-called first world countries are also suffering through that. So yeah. All jokes aside, I really will not tolerate stupid jokes about the movies, because taken out of context, that is just what continues to perpetuate the ignorance. You know, cliches work and can be funny when everyone actually knows the country. Like for example, maybe French people are not necessarily overly fond of cliches about their country, like and if it's always Paris, the Eiffel Tower, people with their little beret and the little striped shirts. But when you see those cliches, you know there is a country called France. There are people that live there. That was a thing at some point, you know? With Madagascar, so many people just unironically think that the movie invented it and it's just some kind of fantasy land. I will not tolerate that. That is not funny. That is not funny. And I am sure if you took just 1 second to put yourself in my shoes, you would feel probably the same thing or something familiar. That is not funny. It is basically just erasing the whole existence of my country, and I will not tolerate that. So yeah. I have no tolerance for the jokes about that movie, and I will continue bonking anyone making jokes about them. And if people leave because of that, well, good riddance, man. If you do not have a minimum of respect and open-mindedness to understand where I'm coming from, good riddance. But I appreciate the goals that come to their senses. There's no need to drag it. We move on. You understood why I bonked you, and you will not do it anymore. And we're good. All is well. Alright. Do you have other questions, Doggos? I believe today was productive. I think I've instilled many pearls of wisdom to you already. And I will be able to make many shorts so that I can spread those pearls of wisdom to more people. Are there elephants in the zoo? I've never seen an elephant here. Not to the zoos I've been. Although admittedly it's been a while since I've been to a zoo. Well, I will be able to report back to you once I've gone to the zoo again for that vlog. But I do not remember seeing any elephant here. If there are some timestamps you wish to share, Doggos, please, by all means. There is a clips channel in the Discord server. Do share them there. That will help me too. The clips, the clip factory has been going insane. The Resident Evil 2 streams have been an insane source of clips. I am very happy to report. The channel will not be in any lack of clips for for a while. Right now, we are packed until like the middle of July, and that's without counting musical shorts I'll probably be making. Especially for since we are going to have a monthly karaoke, I will be trying to add more musical streams too, music oriented streams too, because that is supposed to be the heart of the channel, the core of the channel, along with being the Malagasy Vtuber channel. So yeah, more streams, more music streams too will come. I've already thought of some concepts, so we'll have that too. The first ever YouTube video, I have no idea what that is. I don't know what that is, so no. Also, Doggo, stay on topic. We are talking about Madagascar here. Yeah, Croc Farm, the Crocodile Farm, and Timbazaz. Well, Timbazaz is what I am planning to visit. I've been told that it has changed quite a bit. So, and it's been a long while since I've been there. So I'm hoping for a good experience, something nice to share with you, Doggos. So yeah. I do not really have the opportunity to go very far right now. So yeah, it's simple as it will be. There's also the extra another reward, another donation goal that will be well, if all goes well, it will be up relatively soon. So yeah, you can look forward to that too. There's a ton to look forward to. There's a ton to look forward to, doggos. Aren't I so good to you? Aren't I so nice? I am preparing a ton of stuff for you. So you better be grateful, eh? And you better be good. Above all, doggos, you better be good. The coolest holidays. I will evaluate it in terms of traffic jam. The periods where the traffic, because the traffic jams are a rather common occurrence, especially here in the capital. And it is usually a good indicator of how much a holiday is having an impact. The periods of the year where traffic jams are the worst. Easter. Around Easter. Especially during the week leading to Easter. The Holy Week. I've said this earlier. Christianism is the biggest... the most... practiced religion in Madagascar. Like a large majority of people are Christian, and Easter being the biggest celebration for Christians, because it's the foundation of the whole faith. During the week before Easter, the Holy Week before Easter, there are cults every day. But especially towards the Thursday before Easter, Thursday and Friday before Easter, because Thursday is the day Jesus invented the... what's it called? The Holy Communion. The Holy Communion. The whole thing where he says, "This is my body. This is my blood," and you eat eat little white breads and no, it's not bread, but I don't know how to call it. The little white blend confections and drink wine. Especially there, especially leading up to Easter, the first day before the Easter, before Easter, traffic jam is just atrocious. So yeah, that's one big holiday. Of course, Independence Day's Eve, 25th of June, because during the evening. Kids will come out with little lanterns and make processions in the streets, and there's the fireworks. So yeah, traffic jam. I'm talking about the capital, because the capital is where there is the biggest concentration of people. And Christmas and the New Year. Those are the times where traffic jam is atrocious. So, I evaluate those are the biggest holidays. Yep. Without traffic lights as well. Yes. Yes. There are no traffic lights here. There used to be. I remember very distinctly Still seeing some traffic lights when I was much younger. When I was a wee little Neva. Well, no. When I was a wee little Nova. When Nova and I were still the same person. Whatever. But yeah. It was some 20 odd years ago, I think. Maybe even more than that. But yeah. There used to be. But they all died. Or got stolen. Both. So yeah. No traffic lights. And I feel like people here consider traffic rules to be more like traffic laws to be more like some kind of propositions? No, not propositions. What's the term? I know it. Oh, this is so annoying. This is what happens when you have 4 languages just in your head. Some kind of alors non, c'est pas une proposition, c'est it's more like a suggestion. There we go. It's like, oh god, my voice. I am still not quite there. It's like people consider it more like a suggestion than actual rules that you have to follow. So yeah. Are there areas where animals are okay with humans, like monkeys living in villages with people in China? There are some protected areas where there are lemurs that are very much used to human presence because it's a touristic attraction. So yeah. But you won't find lemurs just anywhere. Only in reserved areas. Yeah, the rules are optional. Fourth language Japanese. Although I'm not fluent at all. Like, I listen to Japanese streamers, watch animes and stuff, and so I understand. Sometimes even if there are no subtitles, I can get the gist of what is said. But I cannot speak it well. Speaking it is I'm not there yet. And I have been hindered in my studies of Japanese because I cannot read. I supercharged my studies in French and English because I read novels or stuff, anything. I read, yeah, mostly novels, which means my French and English were I learned French and English very fast that way. But I cannot read kanji. I remember a few. I started learning a few, but I lament every day that I started with the wrong language, the wrong alphabet. Cause like it's so easy to learn the alphabet, but you need to remember a thousand of kanjis. Well, I believe the most common ones, there are less than the totality that exists. But I believe it's still something like 1,000, over 1,000 commonly used ones, so yeah. Am I ever gonna face reveal? This is my face. What are you talking about? This is my face. Yeah, hiragana and katakana or whatever, but yeah, the kanji, because it's what's used most. So my studies of Japanese has been largely hindered by my ineptitude in kanji reading. Hmm. Memorizing kanji, especially at my advanced age and my atrocious memory. Yeah, it's not going well. Japanese is the language like I can understand like something like maybe 10% of what he said if I watch a streamer, for example, or stuff like that. I can get the gist of what he said, but I cannot read for my life, sadly. And since I gave up using Duolingo because that it's dog shit app. Yeah. I need a native or a native Japanese speaker or someone who is fluent in Japanese to converse with, really. That would be the fastest and the most efficient way for me to learn. That is what I need. I need a conversation partner. And that would also go better than for my English because, believe it or not, well, Nova spoke English for the first time by streaming. As in, we studied English in class and had some practice in class, but that's it. Nobody to talk to. So streaming was the first opportunity for Nova to actually speak English. Personal grudge against French. Oh, well, I mean, who doesn't? Who doesn't? Have I ever read Berserk? No. I cannot say anything about Berserk. I have not read it. Doggo, stay on topic. We're talking about Madagascar. Why are you randomly bringing Berserk here? Stay on topic. This will be my last warning. Yeah, conversation is ideal. That would be the best. But yeah. You should be sorry. You should be sorry, the ghost. Alright. Well, if you already know everything there is to know about the country, do not try to steer the conversation away. This is also meant to share with others. Well, not also. This is mainly meant to share with others who do not know or who would like to know more. So, don't be a bad doggo and don't steer the conversation away. Stay on topic. Well, we can always have more occasions to share about Madagascar like this. After today, I will be making many shorts from what we've discussed here today. And then from there, I can narrow down all the topics that could be of interest, I believe. Oh yes, I remember now. There is one last topic I would like to to talk about. Since since there is some talk of anime, manga, otaku culture in Madagascar. I believe maybe I've seen a comment like that asking, do people watch anime or stuff like that? Yes. Malagasy otaku are unapologetically, unironically, and without complex, very otaku. And, well, those who aren't, well, don't give a fuck. Otakus are very freely otaku here. There's even some kind of a event, festival, convention about otaku cultures. So yeah. There, as far as I have witnessed, as far as I know, as far as I've heard of, there's no such thing as bullying otakus or stuff like that. Like, you like manga, anime, you freely show it, and those who don't give a fuck. Okay, if you like that, don't give a fuck. I will say this. There are many subjects on which I believe Malagasy people are lacking a bit of open-mindedness. But on these, surprisingly, it's chill. It's so freaking chill. You will find otakus being cringingly otaku. I've seen this going around, like there's even some kind of itinerant maid cafe, stuff like that, or it's really, it's doing the whole thing, the whole cringe thing, and they are free. They are just living the life, and you love to see it. You love to see it. There are not that many subjects I feel like the Malagasy people are very open-minded on, and I say this with a lot of sadness, maybe, like to be completely honest with you, it was never part of the plan of the channel to be the Malagasy Vtuber's channel. Early on, Nova never actually even said that she was Malagasy. Especially because it was funny to see people wonder what the heck the accent was. But one day, Nova decided to search up if there were other Malagasy Vtubers. You never know. If she had the idea, surely others had it. And what did she see? VTubers clips with Malagasy does not exist. VTuber discovers that Madagascar exists, and so many clips of that godforsaken stupid movie. And from there, the legend was born. From there, the SEO war was waged. And she did it. She made it. If you type VTuber Madagascar or Madagascar VTuber, you will find Kuroshiro Nova. Top search. And only Kuroshiro Nova for a while. This way, at least, one relevant result will appear. That was done. If nothing else, that will stay Kuroshiro Nova's legacy. Why I am saying this? Well, it was already... Well, it was funny at first when people did not know she was from Madagascar and they were trying to figure out what the hell her accent was. But there was also a lot of... admittedly... fear. Let's say it as it is. There was a lot of fear of well, facing some kind of negative sentiment from fellow Malagasy. Honestly, like I said, there are many subjects on which I wish Malagasy people were a little more open-minded. Stuff like chasing after your dreams, going for a career path that is not largely chosen, like not in the safe books, you see. That is usually frowned upon, very heavily discouraged. So Nova did not really feel like sharing that she was a Malagasy attempting to make a living out of doing stuff like this. Until she found out that, yeah, the whole thing about, oh, this is what appears when you search for VTuber Madagascar or Madagascar Vtuber. So yeah, one thing leading to another. This is where we are today. The Malagasy Vtuber, with more Malagasy having discovered us. And thankfully, many of us fellow Malagasy were rather kind and warm. And that, well, we are very grateful for. Of course, there were some that were assholes, but there are assholes everywhere. It is rather more painful though when you encounter assholes from your own country on your channel where you are interacting with people from other countries and trying to share nice things about your country, and then there's some asshole from your country being an asshole. Yeah, it's not the best look, but well, there are assholes everywhere. It's not only a Malagasy thing. Thankfully, there have been more kind and warm Malagasy than asshole ones. Which tracks, to be completely fair. There are more nice or at least decent human beings than there are assholes. It's just that assholes are more loud. Are louder. You see them more because the smell of stupidity also follows them. So yeah. I haven't been here for a very long time as Neva, but I think the channel has gone through quite the adventure already. It's nice. Quite the journey. It's nice. We are very far from the utopic dream of being able to make a living out of this whole venture. But I think it's been nice. Well, I think. What is my opinion, really? But yeah. It's not my place to say much about what this channel has been through as the very recent phase of a channel. But as one who has been an entity that has observed everything from afar, I think it's been through quite the journey. It's nice. And now I will carry it through even higher heights, of course, before the plug is pulled on me. Hopefully the plug will not be pulled before I have achieved something good and great and big. The first Kuroshiro Nova has been leaving a huge legacy, so I cannot leave before I have accomplished something big too. What will it be? We'll see. Maybe I will be the one to make it. We have reached the utopia of making a living out of doing something that we loved. That is ultimately my goal. No longer a small egg in the ocean, but a decently sized fish. Let's be a decently sized fish in this ocean full of leviathans. That would be nice. Almost 3 hours of yapping. By God! Well, at least my yapping was not pointless, right? Was not rudderless there. I had a clear goal, and I believe I've imparted quite the pearls of wisdom to you. Oh, Uncharted 4. Well, I am not the one who played Uncharted 4, technically. But, to quote my dear predecessor, good enough. Uncharted 4's adaptation of Madagascar, good enough. By that, there's literally nothing. So yeah, it's nice that there was something that had Madagascar in it, and it actually looks like Madagascar mostly. Gaming culture in Madagascar. Oh yeah, Madagascar has quite the gaming community actually. Like well, there was the whole Tekken community, from which the Miarzu, the Malagasy character, was born. There's probably also players of I don't know, the football games. No, there's quite the gaming community in Madagascar. Probably ones that play, I believe, what was it? Team Fortress or Team Fight Tactics, stuff like that. Like no, there's quite the gaming community in Madagascar. No, there are no penguins, there are no lions. Please, for the love of everything that is sacred, there are hundreds of species that you can only find in Madagascar. And none of them are lions or penguins or zebras or giraffes. No, there's nothing like that. If nothing, like, come on. I know that movie has made a dog shit job of teaching anything relevant about Madagascar. But at the very least, the thing is, those characters were from a zoo in New York. Come on! There were not even animals in the Madagascar in the movie. Like, if you're gonna have to mention that stupid movie, at least get the facts right. There is no reason those animals should be associated with Madagascar. They are literally tourists. Come on. But really, do yourself a service and forget about that movie. Forget about it. There's nothing to remember from it. Nothing. Well, I guess there's at least some lemurs and foos. At least. They look dog shit. They're stupid. But at least there were some lemurs and foos. Media literacy. Beat it up in some alleyway. Yeah. Literacy in general too, I'd wager. The song, that song was the song was just like, it's like any meme song. It was a song that was that released early on, and blah, 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 and then we just randomly chose it, and somehow it's stuck into people's mind. Like, please, just bleach your mind of that movie. It's a stupid movie. If you have to remember movies, remember all the ones that actually taught you something, please. At least. Who's your favorite Malagasy singer? I don't really have one, I'd say. There are many songs that I like, many singers that I find have nice songs, but I don't have any favorites. You don't know anything about Madagascar? Lovely. You just have to sit down and listen. Well, actually, we've been here for 3 hours, actually, so we're probably gonna wrap up soon. But you can check on the channel. There is a neat playlist that is titled... When you see the word Madagascar, you shouldn't think of a DreamWorks franchise agenda playlist. It's a lovely playlist in which there is a lot of talks about Madagascar. You can check that one to begin with. Surely you will learn something. One thing. Today's stream, I imparted upon you so many pearls of wisdom, and I will make so many shorts out of them. So there will be more. Don't you worry, little doggo. I got you covered. And it's a requirement anyway. This is the Malagasy Vtuber channel. I have to talk about Madagascar. I have to. It's in the requirements. As the resident Kuroshiro Nova, I have to. Otherwise, a certain predecessor of mine might come back to haunt me and scream in my head, "You haven't talked about Madagascar!" So yeah, I have to do this. I have to do this. If nothing else, you will hear impassioned speeches and crash outs. Well, as a Malagasy person and thinking about poverty associated to your country, I would say it's sadly natural. It is the reality you live in. But you need not only focus on that. Dear doggo, you need not only focus on that. It's not something that is easily forgettable, and it's not something that you can forget. Yes, we live in abject poverty. That is a fact. But we live. We live, and there are so many wondrous things you can find in this country. So many wondrous things that would make other countries very jealous, and that is why we are kept in abject poverty. So, little doggo, I know it's hard to get over the poverty thing, but I find that by learning about other countries too, I started to really appreciate my country. In those rare occasions where I have the opportunity to go on vacations in different regions, different cities, go on the coast, and discover so many things about my own country that I did not know, I find myself marveling at it all, you know? Everyday life is maybe close to hell. We don't have electricity 24/24 or 24 hours. So sometimes there are full days where there's none. Sometimes you don't have water. You need to try to. It's not even making ends meet anymore. It's just a question of survival. How am I gonna find the money to feed myself today? It's the reality many of us live in. But I find that Malagasy also have quite the resilience. Maybe that just comes with the territory. Like, what else are you gonna do but be resilient? Malagasy people are resilient, ingenious. Like, honestly, like, because we are so limited, we come up with many ingenious ideas, many things that you will not find elsewhere, but are made here. Very creative ideas. And that's just about the people, but like the land itself is marvelous, it's wondrous. There are things here you will not find anywhere else, and it's 120% worth just seeing it once in your life if you have the opportunity. Really. No, 120 is too little. 200%. Like, if you have the opportunity, if ever you have the opportunity, there are so many sites, so many things here that are worth checking out. It's at least once in your life. Sometimes it feels like hell, but, well, sometimes it's nice too, you know? Well, it's my country, this is where I live, this is where I was born, and probably this is where I will be buried. And I like this country. I love this country. I wish this country was in a better situation. I wish I could do more. But you can only do what you can. And it's really pointless to wallow in misery, in self-pity. So, after I whine, after I whine a bit, after I complain about how it sucks, well, I pick myself up and I carry on. And I believe that's what most Malagasy do. We whine on Facebook, we complain, we insult the government. Well, insulting is even a euphemism. We, yeah, we... What would be an accurate enough way to say it? It's not just swearing, it's it's cursing their mothers and their ancestors. And then we carry on, because what else is there? We carry on. It's either that or roll up in a ball and die. And despite the sound of that maybe sometimes feeling rather enticing, we pick ourselves up and we carry on. sponsored by Madagascar tourism industry. If only. I wish. If only I wish. There is a maid cafe. Like, I've seen one. An itinerant maid cafe. Literally. Literally. No, there is. There is. Malagasy people are invincible. Well, I don't know, but I think they are quite resilient here. If nothing else, they are quite resilient. We're lacking everything, yet we have everything we need. Yes! Very much so, yes. It's not a Pixar movie, it's a DreamWorks movie. If we're gonna have to talk about that stupid movie, let's at least get the facts right. And yes, many people unironically have seen the movie and have retained nothing from it. That movie is dog shit. And it will be a service to yourself if you just erase it from your mind. How often am I asked about the foos? Never. I am never asked about the foos. See, if at least someone asked about them, that would already be a step above what I get. But no, I'm never asked about foos. And they are not pets. They are not pet material. You are more likely to find someone who has a pet lemur than a pet foos. But hey, that's already a step above the lame old jokes we get. Because it's always the penguins or King Julian. Well, at least King Julian is a lemur, I guess. But it's not so much the fact that he's a lemur, but so more of a, oh, it's King Julian, you see? So yeah, no, King Julian does not get a pass either. If you say lemur or foos, then yes, we can talk about it. Maybe. But even then, what am I even gonna say? I am not a zoologist. I don't know much about them. But at least they are relevant animals found only in Madagascar. So that's a step above everything else. Baby steps, but steps. Media literacy is a little less beat up. See? Progress. Now, the goes. Now that you've heard all of that, you know you can help by spreading what you've heard here today to people around you. So that we will be a little less ignorant. People will be a little less ignorant. Today, you will sleep a little less dumb. And isn't that wonderful? Isn't that what you've wished the internet could bring? Huh? There was a Malagasy dub version of a Madagascar movie, and we just freestyled the plot. Ah, good for them. Good on them. Might as well. Might as well. Might as well. No, but you know the goes. A year ago, when you were searching up VTuber Madagascar, you found all this stuff about that stupid movie. Now, if you search VTuber Madagascar, you will find Kuroshiro no the Malagasy Vtuber. Ah? See? Steps. progress. So, if I have to single-handedly continue my campaigns of when you see the word Madagascar, you should not be thinking about DreamWorks movies agenda. I don't know anymore where my sentence is going. That is a freaking long agenda name too. OG Nova. But yeah, I mean, it's a freaking long agenda name, but every word in it is important. Because it gives the whole picture. Anyway. Even if I have to single-handedly advance this agenda, I will, if it's the last thing I do. Because, well... that is at least something worthwhile to do. It is beyond personal glory. It is a matter of national pride. Even if not that many Malagasy even know of my existence. But we do have a bit of patriotism. I say that because when Nova shared that she made this one palace, royal palace in Madagascar that she made in Minecraft, it kind of became a bit viral on the Malagasy Facebook side. So it's not just on this channel that we are patriotic. Everyone was really happy about that. Oh, the Malagasy did that. This is nice. And every day I still see comments, new comments on the TikTok, on the Facebook page of people saying, "Oh, it's nice that we have people like you sharing about our countries, or our country to people, to foreigners," and it's nice. It's nice. So yeah, we will continue doing that. We will continue doing that because at least it's a worthwhile agenda. And on the side, we will continue grow into a big fish. What I do regret is that we cannot put Madagascar as the country of his channel because YouTube decided that Madagascar does not exist. Well, to be completely fair, although I'm not sure fair is the correct word, but it's clear that before, like I don't know when they took it out, but something like channels back in 10 years ago still could put Madagascar as the country of a channel, but now you can't. Why? Well, 10 years ago you used to still see ads on YouTube from Madagascar. Nowadays, no, none anymore. YouTube must have found out that it's not very lucrative to play ads in Madagascar, so they just erased us. So I can't even put Madagascar in the country of a channel. So we cannot compare ourselves to other channels from Madagascar and be like, see, we became a big fish of Madagascar. No, we cannot even if this channel becomes successful, in the metadata, it will not have Madagascar in it, and it kind of kills me inside. I'm here working my butt off, sharing about Madagascar, being all like, oh, this is the Malagasy Vtuber channel. And if you try to search up channels by countries, this channel will not even appear in Madagascar. Fuck this. Fuck this shit. Why? I can't even monetize the channel anyway. So yeah, if I was to monetize the channel, if I was to try to find some ways to monetize the channel, which we're trying to see if it's possible, blah 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 blah, Ultimately, we will have to put another country. And that kind of kills me inside too. The Malagasy Vtuber country, something like France. Oh putain de merde. Wouldn't that be terribly anti-patriotic actually? So yeah. Yeah. There's that too. There's that too. VTubers single-handedly beat up everyone at DreamWorks in revenge for media literacy still in the alleyway. Honestly, no, but like, honestly, they owe us an apology. Like, no joke. No joke. Your fucking movie single-handedly took the spot and did not even teach people about the country. And you have the gall to make a whole franchise around it that has nothing to do with the country. But you still are dragging the name of my country in the mud like that. Ignore it. They owe us an apology. Sincerely, fuck you, DreamWorks. Yeah, you made some really great movies, but you fucked us up with that. Fuck you. You owe us an apology. We're still profiting off of it. Fuck you. See the ignorance. Madagascar is the 4th largest island in the world. It's bigger than most European countries. It is just the main island is bigger than most European countries. And yet, see? Madagascar is home to so many species that are only found here. Some scientists even call it the 8th continent for some reason. I don't know why 8, to begin with. Why 8th? Which are the 6th and the 7th? But yeah, like, just to tell you how much this land actually has. And yet. Well, I guess just like any other African country, maybe we did not make enough efforts to advertise ourselves. Okay, well, I'll do it. Fine, I'll do it myself. I will continue crashing out here on YouTube so that more people will find out about my country. Fuck it. The World Cup, the sentiments about the World Cup, well, to begin with, it seems like we are not allowed to participate, so the World Cup can fuck itself, I guess. How do I get donations from viewers? There is this neat site, platform called Buy Me a Coffee, on which I receive donations from my kind doggos. And there's also commissions on VGen. We also have commissions on VGen. But yeah. Did the French colonize Madagascar? Of course they did. North, Central, and South America are 3. Afro-Eurasia are 3. Australia is 1. That makes 7. Ah, okay. Nice. Okay. Why not call myself African island? No, no, no. The whole point is Madagascar. Like, other African countries can take care of themselves, okay? I care about my country. And before you go like, oh no, but where is the African, what is it? What's it called? No. It's every dog for themselves. Dog for themselves. We're an island. We have been separated from the continent for over 100 million years, and we find ourselves to be like, we don't care. We don't care. Don't care. Don't care, okay? Like, yeah, technically we are categorized. If we are assigned a continent, it's the African continent. Yes, we have some African genes, but Madagascar is Madagascar. Malagasy is Malagasy. It's its own thing. And I know about my country. I don't know about the others. And I will not pretend to speak for them. It's not like I pretend to speak for my country either. I speak as a random, regular Malagasy person. It's all. Other African countries can take care of themselves. I am here to advance the Madagascar agenda. Nothing else. Nothing more, nothing less. Spamming French things. Well, that is another thing altogether. That is another thing altogether. We get along well with French until the moment there is some foreign, what's it called? Des ingérences étrangères. Nobody likes that. We get along fine as long as they keep to their own things. Well, that is what we wish would happen, of course. Recent history has proved that independence is a fine concept, but one that has never really truly been given to us. And all of that because some people's egos are too big. Ah, isn't the world such a wonderful place? Like, well, it depends on the generation, I guess. Like, the generation of people that have lived through the late colonial period might still have some understandable sore feelings towards some French people. And by that I mean, it's never been a question of the whole French people. Most of them are probably just like us, trying to make a living. But there are some that perpetuated the whole colonizer mindset. Those we don't really like, yeah. Those we do not really like nor tolerate. But well, what are you to do when you are poor and powerless? Nothing. Just continue surviving. And hope that the karma will bite them in the ass. Don't worry, it will come. We have a saying. Ni tutsmets na tonum veren. What? Well, but basically, what goes around comes around. What you do will return to you. So yeah, it will go back to them. The hope is in a period of time where you will be in the front row to witness it. But usually, maybe not. Maybe not. But I will be resting well, buried 6 feet underground and remembering, ha! Come, I will get at you, bitch. And if it doesn't, maybe I will hunt you myself. Is pro wrestling big in Madagascar? I don't know. I don't know about that. The maid cafe I've seen is an itinerant one, as in they do not have an actual local. They just it's more like an event-based maid cafe. Well, we do not have to be in the big history books, but a footnote in history, that's already a good place. That's already a good place. That's already more than many have accomplished. In any case, is manga matsuri still a thing? I don't know. I don't know. That is an old thing. That is an old thing. I don't know. I don't know. There's a what's it called? Oh, by the way. Well, maybe when I become bigger and I can actually present myself as, oh look guys, I'm a Malagasy Vtuber that made it big outside. Well, big. Who is decently sized internationally, let's say, especially for Malagasy Vtuber. Maybe then I will be able to participate to the local. I will be deemed worthy enough to participate in the local festivals. Admittedly, my goal was always to be more. I'm just in a more international audience. It's more fun that way. You get to learn more that way too. But there's a, what's it called? Manga mania. Manga mania. That's the big thing right now, I think. Well, at least one of the big otaku events. At least a Wikipedia page. Yeah. At least. I have nothing against French. I have nothing against French, but this it's kind of let's say maybe it's not very politically ideal to say that a Malagasy that is purely Malagasy is French, you know. I say that like there are many of us that have some French family and stuff. Like I said, we get along fine as long as you do not come to us with a decidedly modern colonizer mindset. But it's just that I don't know, like I feel like maybe it could be comparable to how Americans and English get along fine, but there are some things that you just do not want to assign the other, you know? I have no idea who are you talking about. So no, I have no inspiration from anyone. There is no inspiration taken anywhere. I am who I am. And I came up with my own look. Maybe you've not been listening, friend, but Madagascar is an ancient French colony. And like I said, I have nothing against the French. I watch many French creators. Well, many, maybe not many, but one of my favorite creators are French. And there are many Malagas who have French families. But again, let's say there's just some things that are not very politically ideal. Implying that purebred Malagasy is French. It's like depending on the place. Like I said, I don't have any issues with them. I watch them. Like, I'm sure most French are just like me, just trying to make a living and live their life. But yeah, let's not. Let's not. I'm not French. I am not French. I happen to speak French and be fluent in French because it is the second official language in my country. But I am decidedly not French. But yeah. It's just you see, it's like this. Certain jokes can only be made and said by certain people. You can joke about colonization when you yourself have been colonized. Or even if your country has been a colonizer and you feel some kind of guilt about it, you know? Self-deprecating jokes. That works. But you should not be making jokes about it if you have nothing to do about it. Alright, there goes. We're we're bordering on 4 hours. That is enough yapping. I feel like you guys are starting to go into weird territories, and yeah, more than 3.5 hours of talking about Madagascar. I think that's good. That's good. A lot of shorts will be made from this. And, well, as my predecessor used to say, hopefully, with more shorts in fed to YouTube, a few more people will be less dumb. Will find themselves less dumb and know a tiny bit more about Madagascar. Just a tiny bit. As long as more people are aware of the existence of my country and know a couple of things about it, a couple of very basic things about it, enough to start making cliches, yeah, we're good. Yeah, we're good. We'll be good then. Going in tangents is a Kuroshiro Nova special. If one is named Kuroshiro Nova, one will be going on tangents, sadly. Well, no, not named. Yeah, named, titled, whatever. I hold the Kuroshiro Nova crown now. So yeah, it comes with the territory. Alright, there goes. That will be enough for today. That will be enough for today, because I fear your brain will not be able to retain anything beyond this. So, let's call it a day. You will be good doggos and remember stuff. Just a couple of things. Just a couple of things. Something relevant to the country. something that is actually applicable. Yeah, no, something that is actually relevant to the country. Something that does not have to do with a goddamned movie that released 20 years ago and you should erase from your memory. Erase it from your memory, the goes. There is no movie titled Madagascar that is worth staying in your mind, okay? Okay? DreamWorks Madagascar movie are not worth staying in your mind. It did not bring you any worthwhile knowledge. So, erase it. Do not let it take up space. Remember other things. Remember that Madagascar is the 4th largest island in the world. The 2nd largest island country. The 46th largest country overall. Huh? Bigger than most European countries. Remember that there are lemurs, baobabs here. See, foos. See, that is relevant. Remember that there is a VTuber called Kuroshiro Nova that will burn down your house if you are a bad doggo and do not remember that. And you will receive a mighty bonk if you try to bring up and try to make stupid jokes about a certain movie that shall not be named henceforth. Alright, doggos? Something from the 3 hours and a half. Retain something from that. Please. Please. Prove to me that you have brains and that you are going to use them. Now. Now. Do take care of yourselves, doggos. Be good. Next time. Next time. But for now, be good. Take care.